As we mentioned on First Sports, the Kitchener Rangers are home to Oshawa tomorrow night. The Rangers trail the Generals 2-0 in their OHL semifinal and are really relying on fan support to get them back in the series.
The OHL is alive and well as far as the playoffs, and certainly we'd love to see some great support here tomorrow night when we host the Oshawa Generals for Game 3. Our family and corporate crowds have just been great this year, and we want to see that once again tomorrow night.
And the next home game for the Guelph Storm is Friday night against Ottawa. Guelph trails the 67s 2-0. Game 3 goes Wednesday night in Ottawa. Meanwhile, the NHL playoffs don't get underway until Wednesday, but Ottawa Senators fans were camping out overnight, hoping to grab tickets for next week's home game against Buffalo. The Sens are just one of 3 Canadian-based NHL teams to have qualified for the postseason, the others being the Montreal Canadiens and the Edmonton Oilers. It appears the Leafs' Matt Sundin may play in the upcoming World Hockey Championships after all. Initially, Sundin said he would not play for Sweden at this month's tournament in Finland. The Leafs' leading scorer is reportedly reconsidering. National League Baseball action this afternoon. Houston beat St. Louis in 10 innings. Bill Spires' 2-run double off Dennis Eckersley. And in the fourth, Montreal leads Colorado by a score of 7-4. Oakland and Boston are underway in the American League, and with Roger Clemens nursing a groin pull, the Jays will send Woody Williams to the mound against Kansas City tonight. The Ontario Regional Synchronized Swim Championships are set for London this weekend, and as Wayne Koyman reports, the Waterloo Regional Synchro Swim Club is ready to go.
The club is sending 38 participants, including 9 duets and 5 teams, and duet swimmers Kathleen McCaig and Laura Peters are working hard and hoping to do top 3.
Our duet is about 3 minutes and 15 seconds, and to make a good routine, there has to be teamwork. A lot of compromises. We're hoping to come in the top 3.
Kathleen's partner Laura Peters now on the underwater portion of their routine.
Well, we just listen to the underwater speaker and follow the counts of the music, and it goes from there.
Team-wise, one of the 5 team members is 13-year-old Kitchener's Megan Rittinger, who also talked about her routine underwater.
Well, you just have to try to not concentrate on holding your breath. You have to concentrate on what's coming up next and what you have to think of doing and presenting yourself to the judges. I think we'll do pretty good. We're not the best team. It's like our first year being together, but I think we're going to do really good. We just have to keep focused and have fun.
Club head coach Rebecca Hempy now summarizes her charge's chances.
Our duet combination of Laura and Kathleen are a very great duet. They're our top duet in our club, and I see them placing in the top 3. That's their goal.
How about the team now?
Now, the team that we have here is our 12-14 team. They'll be doing extremely well again. We expect them to come in the top 6 at regionals.
If a yardstick for success can be measured by dedication and hard work, then both the duet and team members of the Waterloo Regional Synchronized Swim Club should do very well in the regionals in London come April 19th and 20th. In Waterloo, Wayne Koyman, CKCO Sports.
Okay, we've heard backs to the wall, do or die. What cliche should we have for the Rangers?
Oh, I don't know. I just hope they win and they're back home on Wednesday.
I have a new word coming up in about a minute. You're going to like it.
Is it a cliche?
No, it's not a cliche.
Okay.
It's a new word. And
a new word.
Hey, I
want
to mention right off the bat, just came in on the wire, Rob DeSantis of the Rangers is the OHL Player of the Week. He had 4 goals and 1 assist last week against the Generals, including that big overtime winner, so congratulations to Rob. You know, for the second time in 5 days, the Rangers will play for their OHL playoff lives. The Rangers are in Oshawa tonight, trailing the Generals 3-2. Kitchener forced a 6th game by winning in overtime on Thursday night. So as we look at tonight's matchup, it's Kitchener playing in Oshawa, Rangers trailing 3-2, and as I mentioned, Rob DeSantis, Player of the Week. Looking ahead to tomorrow night at 7:30, Guelph is home to Ottawa. The 67s lead that series 3-2. Now, these 2 local OHL teams made me realize that the English language is missing a word. Obviously, the people at Webster's are not OHL fans, so we've invented a new word to suit the Rangers and Storm. That word is uneliminatable. It's the ability to be impossible to be eliminated. And to use it in a sentence, the Kitchener Rangers and Guelph Storm are uneliminatable. Of course, this word would create all kinds of exciting new spin-off words. Uneliminatosis would be the fear of playing a team that is uneliminatable. We'll contact the dictionary people in the morning. Now, the Edmonton Oilers must be feeling uneliminatable today. Midway through the second last night, they fell behind 3-0 to Dallas, but the Oilers start their comeback with 4 minutes left in regulation. Doug Waite, second of the playoffs, ruins Andy Moog's shutout. And Edmonton would score twice more in the final 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Andrei Kovalenko and Mike Greer both score. This game would go to overtime, tied at 3. And 9 minutes into the overtime frame, Edmonton's Kelly Buchberger scores the winner in one of the most shocking comebacks in NHL playoff history. The Oilers, down 3-0 with 4 minutes left, win the game 4-3. They now lead Dallas 2-1. A couple of games in the NHL playoffs tonight. Buffalo plays in Ottawa. That series is tied, 1 win apiece. And Philadelphia is at Pittsburgh, with the Flyers leading the Penguins 2-0. The Canadian 5-pin bowling championships are set for Sudbury the first weekend of May. As Wayne Koyman reports, 2 area bowlers are representing Ontario in separate divisions.
Elmira's Leslie Winland and Carol Jordan, Leslie on the left, Carol on the right, are the new junior and senior girls bowling champions for the province. And with shots like this, well, it's no wonder.
I bowled in zone, and then I won that. And going into the provincials, I had the highest score out of all of them, so I was going in the top.
Now we have one more step to climb, and that, of course, is the upcoming Nationals in Sudbury. Your comments about entering that big event?
Well, the best I can do is hope to do the best that I can. And you have to bowl 22 games in 3 days. 6 the first day, and then 10 the second day, and then 6 the next day.
14-year-old Carol Jordan is the new Southern Ontario Senior Girls Champion, having rolled a new provincial 5-game high total against girls as old as 19. Carol's happy about that, but disappointed about going to Sudbury.
Well, I bowled 5 games. I had a 14:35, and I set a new record for like Ontario, Southern Ontario.
Outstanding. Next up, of course, will be the Nationals in Sudbury. Your feelings about heading up there?
I'm kind of mad because it's not a plane. I want to fly.
Well, Carol, next year the Nationals are in B.C. Now back to Leslie for a moment. She says she may have an advantage going to Sudbury. How so, Leslie?
Well, I got these funky color nails, and I think it's all in the nails.
Given their recent successes at the provincials, there's no reason why Leslie and Carol shouldn't do extremely well at the upcoming Nationals in Sudbury. I mean, when you think about Leslie's nails, how can they miss? In Elmira, Wayne Koyman, CKCO Sports.
4 members of the Cambridge Kips Gym Club have qualified for next month's Nationals in Ottawa. The 4 include Yvonne Tusick and Dana Ellis at the senior national level, Crystal Gilmore in the National Open class, and Chantel Tusick, who will represent Ontario in National Novice. Each of those 4 qualified at this weekend's Elite Ontario meet in Brampton. Now, the world's most famous marathon was held in Boston today. Kenya's Lamek Aguta pulled away in the final minute to beat fellow countryman Joseph Kamau by 11 seconds. Aguta finished in 2 hours, 10 minutes, 33 seconds. It's the 7th straight year a Kenyan has won the event. In the women's competition, today's Boston Marathon winner was Fatuma Roba of Ethiopia. The reigning Olympic champ took over in the last 2 miles, and she won in a time of 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 24 seconds. Another big event in Boston today. The Red Sox beat Baltimore 4-2 as Will Cordero hit a 2-run homer for the Sox. The Blue Jays have a late start in Anaheim tonight. In the National League, Scott Service drove in 3 as the Cubs won for the 2nd day in a row. Chicago wins at New York, and Kurt Schilling picked up his 3rd win as Philadelphia blasted Pittsburgh 10-2. And some bad news for Chicago Bulls center Bill Wennington. The Montreal native will miss all of the NBA playoffs because of a ruptured tendon in his left foot. And that's sports presented by your local Chrysler dealers. During Wayne's report, the people from Scrabble called, and they're accepting uneliminatable.
Oh, yes. And maybe we can get Arnold Schwarzenegger to star in a movie, Uneliminatable. I think it's not a bad idea.
That'd be a 100-point word, easily, if you had a triple word score.
We'll be back with our local hero right after this.
Now let's check in with assignment editor Jeff Soltesiak. Jeff?
Michael, that reaction to Waterloo Mayor Brian Turnbull's announcement that he won't seek another term as mayor, he announced live on Action News that he will give up the chains of office at the end of his term. And we'll have more on the upcoming provincial budget. It'll be tabled next month, and the Tories say it'll be good news. Now back upstairs.
Our local heroes usually involve volunteers helping people in need.
Well, tonight, a unique local hero, someone who volunteers her time, energy, and money to help orphan birds and animals.
With more on this remarkable and tireless worker, here's CKCO's Don Cameron.
Local Heroes, brought to you by Snyder Plywood Specialties, featuring decorative French doors to brighten your home.
3 of them came from a nest that was dug up by a dog.
Them are baby squirrels that Carol Dams is nursing until they're ready to return to the wilds. It's a service she's been doing since she was 10.
I just got more and more interested, and over the last few years I realized that there's a really big need for somebody to take care of all these little critters, especially in the cities.
So where do all these animals and birds come from, and how does she find the time?
The Humane Society refers a lot of calls to me, most of the veterinary clinics in town, pet shops, the police. Any small mammal that lives in southern Ontario can wind up here, and the same for any species of bird. We take them all. Sometimes I get very, very, very tired, but it's really worth it when you get something back in the wild. That's where it belongs.
Carol takes her knowledge of the birds and animals to the schools where she finds an uneducated but enthusiastic audience.
It's great to be able to explain to them when to intervene and when not to intervene. We do have to be concerned about rabies in southern Ontario. So I love talking to them about it.
So don't think these cuddly rabbits or birds are for pets.
Actually, by the time they're ready to go, they're ready to go. And the name of the game is to get them back out into the wild.
And this quail, roughed up by a dog, should be ready to go soon. And so will the cute little rabbits. Carol has some good help in foster homes, but she has one wish.
I would desperately love to see a wildlife rehabilitation facility because it is a huge job and very expensive.
Until that happens, Carol Dams' home in Kitchener will be available to her furry and feathered friends. And that's why she's this week's local hero. Don Cameron, CKCO Action News.
And if you know a local hero you'd like recognized on television, we'd like to hear from you. Send your nomination to Local Heroes, care of CKCO Action News. Our mailing address is 864 King Street West, P.O. Box 91026, Station C, Kitchener, postal code N2G4E9. The fax number is 743-0730, and our email address is actnews@ckcotv.com.
There's a tremendous need for volunteers in the Waterloo region. If you want to help, call the Volunteer Action Center at 742-8610 or the Cambridge Volunteer Bureau at 623-0423.
And again, we'll have reaction to Mayor Brian Turnbull's announcement on the news at 11:30. Hope you'll join us for that.
Good night.